Hello again, everybody. Today I'm going to be going through Mr. Vail's Lesson 4 that can be found on page 589. So please turn along in your book with me and follow along as I go through the questions on this video. We're going to be answering questions 1 through 4 for your homework assignment today. That's on page 589. Okay, in this assignment, to start off, the directions ask us to draw a top, side, and front view of each figure. Okay, looking at the shape in question number 1, hopefully this is a reminder of what was covered in 6th grade math, but nevertheless, it could be something that you haven't seen yet. This shape is called a triangular prism because if we look, the ends, the top and the bottom, are both triangles, yet it is a 3D shape, so that's what makes it a prism. Now, to draw the top of it, we can see that the top is a triangle. A side view of it, if we look, we can see that each of the sides are rectangles. And I'm going to trace that with my red outline here. So to draw a side view, that would be just a simple rectangle like that. And the front of it is actually the same as the side, so that is also going to be another rectangle. And your answer is just as simple as that, drawing those 3 different views of the shape. Question number 2. This one might be a little bit trickier because this is what we call a cylinder. If we look, it has a round top and a round bottom. But we'll talk in a moment about what shape the side actually is. Okay, so let's start off by drawing the top. We can see that the top, as I just said, is round. So I'm going to say that that's the top. Now, if we take a look at the side view of it, we're basically just seeing this part. Oops, I didn't draw that too well. We only see that as a side view. Then, looking at the front of it, that is actually going to be the same as the side view, except it's just going to be a little bit wider. All right, so for example, what I mean is, think about if you have a can of soup and you took off the label and you cut it basically right down where I drew that red dotted line, and you unfolded that soup label so you could lay it flat on your table. It would be one wide rectangle like that. So it would be wider than the side view. Okay. Moving on to question number 3. We have to draw a top, a side, and a front view of the eraser shown. So if we look at the top of the eraser, we see that that is a rectangle. if we look at the side of the eraser, and I'm going to erase the top view that I drew there. If we look at the side of the eraser, the side is also a rectangle. It's just not quite as large of a rectangle as the top. Okay, and then moving on, if we look at the front of the eraser, you see the front, it's not a rectangle, it is more of a parallelogram, right? Kind of looks like that rectangle that's tilting a little bit to the side. I don't know what's going on here with my pen tool. Okay, and that's going to be our front. Feel free to pause the video if you need to give yourself some time to write the answers down. Okay, moving on to question number 4. And remember, for this assignment, we are just going to stop at question number 4. I do encourage you to continue and try to do questions 5 and 6 as well. If you refer to the Google Doc that I sent to you outlining the assignments from Mr. Vail's math unit, the first unit that he assigned over closure, you'll see that I've asked you to do problem number 5, and feel free to go on to problem number 6 just as extra problems. Okay, so for number 4, we have to draw a corner view of each three-dimensional figure whose top view, side view, and front view are shown. So if you look here, they give us the different views of each shape. I find this always easier to begin by drawing the top view, so I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. Okay, so by doing this, I'm going to pick a point somewhere near the top of the grid that they're giving us here, and I'm going to start by noticing that the top is 2 squares wide by 2 squares tall. So that's what I'm going to try to recreate on here. Something that is 2 squares wide by 2 squares tall. And I apologize if it's not exactly perfect. It's a little bit tricky doing this on my iPad. Okay, so the top view should look something like that. Now moving on to the side view, and please also take note that the side view and the front view are the exact same. They are both 2 squares wide by 3 squares tall. Okay, so I'm going to start at the top, and I'm just going to count down 3 spaces, or 3 dots, as I make my line. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to go from each point on the top and do the same thing. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm just going to close in. Oops, I don't know what was going on there. Close in my shape. So my side view would look something like that. And for my front view, like I had just said, that's going to be the exact same shape as the side view. So I'll do that the same way, counting down 1, 2, 3 spaces from the top, and then just filling in the rest. Okay. From here, I'd like you to go on and try number 5. Challenge yourself. I know these aren't quite as easy to do, but please give yourself a challenge. And I know that you can be successful with this. If you have any questions on these assignments, whether it's this one or any of the other assignments that Mr. Vail has given, please let me know. Please send me an email, call me, text me. I'm here to help you out. All right, everybody.